So let's talk England player ratings after their big win against Italy. Bonus point win. Italy have never beaten England, and this one was fairly comfortable for England on the scoreboard, but Italy had some good patches and it got a bit bitty, and it is a hard one to score. So welcome to this video supported by Sports News Blitz. I'll follow up this video with a detailed match review, but wanted to get this one out nice and fresh whilst all these thoughts are in my head. Let's go through these players. I'll put the scores up on the side and just let me know what you thought, because it is actually very hard to score these players in this game. Because I think in the back line, let's start there, the balance just got completely thrown up in the air. They had the 6-2 split and they kind of needed the forwards, but it completely mucked up the backs as Ollie Lawrence went off. Elliot Daly goes into midfield and you have no power men in midfield. And it was such a shame because from the start, Elliot Daly was looking great from fullback counter-attacks, getting in there and passing, so you had your extra playmaker. I was loving it. But then Ollie Lawrence went off injured. Hope he's okay. It didn't look great, to be honest. And Daly did nothing wrong, but him and Dingwall just offered no real physical threat in that midfield. So it's going to be a decent score, but again, I just don't really know. England could have done with that extra centre on the bench. Let's talk Tommy Freeman. He goes from strength to strength. Every part of his game is looking spot on. Love to see him in the centre at some point, but they didn't really have the players to shuffle around this time. But in the air, working hard off his wing, tackling, chasing. I think this guy's got the lot, and I think he's going on that Lions tour, so well done to him. Another strong game. The midfield partner of Elliot Daly in the end was Fraser Dingwall. Started with some problems, some drop balls, some bad missed tackles in the first half. He's a bits and pieces player, and then when he puts it together, he looks really good. Some nice handling in the second half, some better tackles in the second half. So he's a good player, but he needs someone like Ollie Lawrence alongside him. So it's a decent score, but again, hated that combination really. On the other wing, if you look at all the good things that Ollie Slightholme did, he looks like a really good score, but then he also missed some bad tackles, gave away some penalties, dropped some ball. So I don't really know what to go with him. Sometimes he kind of holds off and doesn't go for it. Sometimes he really goes for it. Nice finish for that handling try in the corner. So it's a tricky one. It's going to be a decent score, but I'm still not sure he's the finished article. But, you know, some good touches. Finn Smith looked fairly settled. At times, England weren't really working around him, and he was looking around for options. They weren't there, and he was having to twist and turn and do something off the cuff. His kicking was pretty good, though. Pretty solid in defence. Yeah, Menoncello ran through him once, but yeah, decent there. What I would like to have seen is him play, say, 60 minutes and Marcus Smith come on for 20. That would have been pretty good, I think, but as it was, Finn Smith, another decent outing, and he'll be better for it. Alex Mitchell, much better game for him because it's the type of game that he thrives in. Quick tap penalty, good running, good sniping, good offloading. This is how he likes to play the game, surrounded by those Northampton players. So, unsurprisingly, look really good actually. Ellis Genge, another solid game. He's worked hard in the Six Nations without really catching fire. The England scrum was good throughout, to be honest, so a fairly good score there. Jamie George technically was very good, worked very hard, although he's not that agile. He's a bit older and he got ran around by Ange Capelwatso quite badly. But apart from that, it's a decent outing, and he played that part in Ollie Slightholme's second try, so decent score for him. Big score though for Will Stewart. He is getting better and better. Big scrummaging, big carrying, big tackling, and some amazing footwork for one break where he did Nicotera in then out, then a bump on Brex. It was absolutely phenomenal. This guy is going on the Lions tour and he's playing the rugby of his life. In the second rows, Chesham was the pick of the second rows. Itoje worked hard, gave away a few penalties, and maybe not the best score, but okay. But Chesham looked great in the line out. Didn't like the strapping on his leg, but seemed to move okay anyway. One big break and really dangerous in the defensive line out as well. So big play from him and shows he is a really important player for England. Tom Curry was fantastic. Goodness me, in that second half, his carries were phenomenal. Turnovers, all muscle. He was struggling so badly with cramp towards the end of the game. He so should have been taken off earlier when they actually took Willis off, who I thought was playing really well. Tom Willis, I thought, was playing great. He was playing good in the first half. He hits those big, hard lines. Brilliant one for his try, working hard in defence. Why did they take him off? I just don't know. They took him off and left Tom Curry, who couldn't even move, on. I think it really rounds out that England back row and gives it balance. But yeah, they keep taking him off early. Ben Earl, He is an absolute powerhouse, looks really, really good, tackling, jackling, really making an impact. And I like it when he went to midfield, actually scored a try at the end. Maybe he should have gone to midfield when Lawrence went off. I mean, it would have been a massive call, of course, but it would have been quite fun. But anyway, another good outing from Ben Earl. Then on the bench, Baxter and Hayes scrummaged very well, although both gave away some penalties. Hayes particularly looks a bit iffy in the loose, slipped off a bad tackle. So big scrummager Hayes. Not sure if there's too much else. Would like to have seen a Poco for jaw, but we didn't. Ted Hill came on briefly, and for those brief minutes, I actually thought he looked phenomenal. Got a charge down that should have been a try, but Cunningham, South and Genge just looked at the ball. That was a bit strange. But then he got taken off again and then came back on later. Would love to have seen him come on instead of Cunningham South, but he was there as a second row replacement. Cunningham South's interesting. He runs hard, he runs straight, he tackles hard. But I don't see a lot of thought there. For the second time in this Six Nations, he's just ball watching and let Menoncello walk in for a try when there had loads of players there. He should have just fanned out, seen who was there. I'm not sure there's a lot of brain thinking going along with Cunningham South. Would love to see Ted Hill in that slot instead. So, yeah, not completely sold there, although physically he's a beast. Ben Curry came on and was phenomenal once again. The turnovers, the energy, absolutely class, and that steal there for the last try for Earl was really impressive. So big score for him. Van Poortvliet came on and did absolutely fine. Didn't have a lot of time, I guess, but yeah, did what he needed to do. And then finally, what do you do with Marcus Smith? He had to come on at 15, and he doesn't really suit 15, to be honest. He lost pretty much every high ball that was kicked to him, which isn't really his strength. It would have been so much better if they could have kept all their players on and had him on at 10 for 20, like I said. But then he scored an amazing try, and it shows what he can do out wide with his passing game. Nice long pass for Slight Holmes' try, but the fullback stuff not so good. The attack pretty good. And it was a bit weird how they were using him, because a lot of the time he was up very flat and not really as a fullback. Didn't seem to be covering. Finn Smith did a lot of covering for him. So they had to really rejig their backline, and it didn't really work. But Marcus Smith did some stuff really well, and the fullback stuff not so well. So not overly sure how to score him, but I think he can be used differently. He's got so much talent and ability. Not sure this setup is making the most of it. So anyway, that's my take straight after the game. Let me know what I missed, what scores you were given, why. It's just a bit of fun. If you disagree, do not worry about it, but let me know what you would do. Do like, do subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you next time.